Hello and welcome back to Kingdom Come Deliverance. Finally, I found a bunch of people who look like humans. I'm not sure if they actually are. Especially that you see they, kind of don't speak Hungarian. However, this is the quest, Human King's Revenge, or Revenge of the Human King. Let's have a chat with Oddbird and see if we can get, into the fighting with them.
What are you doing here?
I and His Majesty, King of the Humans, are here to examine his new estate.
King of the Humans? Sigismund?
No. Sigismund is King of Hungary. Humans have their own king.
And what's His Majesty doing here without his armies?
Well, the king, His Most Noble Majesty, is fond of hand-to-hand combat. And to indulge his passion, he goes around in the guise of an ordinary soldier.
I see. So his opponents won't go easy on him, and he can indulge his passion to the full. So I can fight him too?
Certainly. All you have to do is lay a wager, which is His Majesty's other great passion. A right royal wager.
Okay, we have to avoid the first line of dialogue if we want to progress through this quest or even start it, because this will just lock us out of the progression through the quest over here. So let's say why all the disguises.
Pity to me. Why all the disguises?
The king is bored of all the jousting and swordplay, especially since he's such a good fighter. Only the others don't want to brawl with him because, well, he's the king. And anyway, they prefer their swords. So this is the only way he can enjoy his entertainment.
All right, I'll challenge this king of yours.
Very well. But of course, His Majesty can't waste his time with anyone. First, you have to prove yourself worthy.
I've a feeling it's going to cost me something.
Naturally. That's the beauty of the thing. We'll start with Rakov Lab, the king's most faithful bodyguard. I'll take the money. I'm His Majesty's drink.
Okay, so let's just take it easy. We can use this cheese just, to win the fight. And then when we're done, I'm gonna wait for him to pass out. And then we're gonna take everything off them. It's quite important. Okay. Next one.
Can I challenge your king now?
You've beaten the king's bodyguard, true. But I can't let you fight His Majesty yet. First, you have to beat his good friend Ash. Ghoul Ash.
So we will try to park him in the corner over there. If he gets knocked out before, that's fine. Not a big thing. Just remember to take his armor afterwards. Okay, well done. Okay. Give me everything, thank you. Now let's see, armor, and then let's put everything on a horse, but let's leave our helmet. That's quite important too. Okay, now we'll be fighting the... Do we know each other? We'll be fighting the king. Do they look familiar? Where's the other one? Ah, he's there, okay. Okay, let's make sure that we have enough health as well.
Can I challenge your king now?
Right.
Because things will
Beaten
get quite
both of
dicey
those esteemed fighters.
after we
Now
defeat the
you may
king.
challenge His Majesty. Watch out. The wager is only just beginning.
Okay, so when we fight the king, let's try to put him into the corner somewhere here, or you know, at least on the side, on the other side of the fence, because if we're close to the other guys, they can spot us stealing his armor, and we don't want that yet. So this guy is quite tough. We can try some fancy move on him, but this is a very safe technique. Just, you know, knee to the face. It's quite cheesy, but hey, who cares? We're winning. That's what's important.
Come here, lily liver.
It'll soon be over. I'm gonna just give him a decent concussion. Here we go. Okay, now we're gonna wait for him to pass out, or yeah. Perfect. Now let's deposit armor that we don't need onto our horse. Save before we talk with the guy, and then we can move on with the quest. Save. Actually, we can do a few more things. We can go for... Do I have anything actually that would be... No. That's a shame. I was hoping that, you know, maybe we can use like something that will raise our strength or something, but we don't have anything, so just have to make do with what we have. Where's my coin?
money, you lousy dog?
What money?
The money I won fighting your king.
Oh, that money. I see. You don't have any. So, tough luck.
I won't be fobbed off. I'll get that coin from you one way or another.
Then how do you propose to do that? It's 4 against 1. Not good odds.
Okay,
We'll see about that.
now let's leg it.
Come here, lily liver.
So we want to find a spot where we can kind of funnel them. We may not be
You'll get what for.
that, how do you call it, lucky actually.
That's the best you can do. What's the matter? Come on!
This may be a king actually, so let's leave him till the very
Gonna
end.
weak at the knee, have
This
you?
guy first. Okay, one down. Then the black hair. Come on, come here. Ah, shit.
I'm gonna enjoy this. Is that all you've got?
It's really not ideal.
Bring it on.
Come on, son. Come on, let me put you to sleep. Nice, okay.
What's the matter? Come on.
Let's... maybe we should try the king.
You
Yeah,
call
that actually
combat?
worked quite well, yeah. Now let's sort out this guy. And we're gonna be done. Get in there. Good boy. Nice. Now we don't necessarily want to kill him. We can just loot him. This will do as well. Okay, now we're gonna wait for him to stand up, and then we should be able to get our money back. Okay, so I waited an hour, and let's see.
God be with you, Henry.
No. Here we go.
So, have you had enough? Or would you like a second helping?
All right. You win. Here's your money. Just leave us be.
Now get out of my sight. And don't let me see you here again, or you'll regret it.
Oh, nice. Okay. In this case, we can go and rest a little, and then start something else. I'm not sure what we're gonna start. However, I think there's a... or there will be a tourney in Ratai coming up. So we may actually do this and then maybe have a chat with Sir Radzik.
Sir, can I ask you about something?
Of course, Henry.
Well, I thought since we chased the bandits out of Pribyslavitz, the roads would be safer.
Ah, criticizing your liege lord, are you? And what, in your opinion, should he do about it?
Oh no, I don't mean anything by it. Just that it surprises me.
Easy, lad. I'm only pulling your leg. You're quite right. The roads really aren't safe. Mostly due to one thing. My garrison is a shamble these days. I lost most of my men in Skalitz, and what I'm left with after Pribyslavitz is hardly enough even to guard Pigstein. Let alone guarding the roads and patrolling the rest of the province. I simply don't have the men.
Uh-huh. I understand.
That is, I didn't have the men. As it happens, you've come at just the right time. Recently, I asked an old acquaintance for help. Sir Kuno of Rickwald and his mercenary band. The men who ride with him are a rough lot, mostly former convicts, but they're as capable as any squad of soldiers.
Well, excuse me for being so bold, but there's plenty of mercenaries around. Surely you can find a more respectable band?
You have a point, lad, but I'd like to tell you I talked to Kuno because I trust him. But actually my reasons are of a more pragmatic nature. You see, Kuno owes me a favor, so he'll serve me free of charge.
So, you want me to join them?
Yes, but that's not all. I told Kuno I'd send him a guide, but really what I need is for someone to keep a close eye on him and his men. Someone reliable. And I'd say you fit the part. Go and report to him at his encampment. You'll ride with his band on patrols and make sure they don't get too disorderly.
Who is this Sir Kuno of Rickwald?
He's the last baron of the House of Rickwald, which became impoverished. So he took to the mercenary trade, like many poor noblemen do, unless they become robbers, which often isn't all that different. He's certainly an entertaining companion, but as a mercenary, well, let's just say he has his own particular approach to certain matters.
That sounds a little worrying.
Oh, it's nothing too bad. Just that now and again he needs reminding not to step over the line.
How is he indebted to you?
I did him quite a big service, actually. I saved him from the hangman.
Oh, that sounds like quite a story. How did it happen?
You should ask him. You'll be spending quite a while riding together, so it'll help pass the time. But one thing I can tell you, he seems to have taken inspiration from me. A lot of his men had their own encounters with the executioner too.
All right, I'll go and report to him.
Excellent. He set up camp between Ratai and Ledechko. It's a good base for covering the province. Good luck, Henry. And watch out for yourself.
I will, sir. Thanks.
Goodbye.
Will do. Will do. Okay. Come on, horse. Oh, let's get some, let's splash some water on Henry's face. Jump on the horse, and let's go. I think that's it now.
I'll be with you. I'm looking for Sakuno. Sakuno? Baron Rickvold. Isn't this his camp?
You won't get nothing out of him. You must be Radzig's man. I heard he was supposed to send someone.
Yes, Sir Radzig sent me as a guide. I'm Henry.
I'm Jakey. And this here fella, we call the Stone.
I can see why. What's up with him? Cat got his tongue?
No, more like the dog got it. The executioner's dog. When the executioner ripped it out of him. Anyway, you better come along with me. I'll introduce you to the other fellas. And the chief.
He seems very eager. Not him, the other guy.
These here are the Bearman brothers. Petter and Jan. They're a barrel of laughs. Except when they're too drunk to string two words together. Like now. Don't get on the wrong side of them, though. When their blood is up, well, it ain't a pretty sight.
Pleased to make your acquaintance, I'm sure.
Never mind the fancy poses, Stefan. You're trying to kill the fucker, not teach him how to dance. And you, Dangler, stand your ground. Don't let him lead you round by the nose.
Sir? Well, sir, this is Henry. From Lord Kobler.
Ah, it's about time Radzig got round to this. We need someone who knows their way around these parts. Leave off with the bowing and curtsying. We don't hold with that tomfoolery here. Jakey! Where the hell are you sneaking off to? Go to the farm and get water. The lads are thirsty.
But I went last time.
And you'll go next time, you ungrateful pup. Get your ass moving. Snot-nosed brat. You pull them out of a pile of shit, and they thank you with back talk. Where were we? Oh yeah. We need a guide who knows these parts. So I hope I can rely on you, Herman.
It's Henry.
Right. Well, as I said to Radzig, I don't want to carry any dead weight. We could find ourselves in some very tight situations where every sword counts.
I know how to handle a sword, all right?
I've heard a lot of fellas say that. They still ended up on the wrong end of one. We'll find out. Stefan, take a break. Dangler, let's find out what Harold here can do.
It's Henry.
No problem, Chief. No, kurwa!
What's your language?
Ha! Cunt!
Told you something.
You didn't fare badly at all, I must say. You
It was
can ride with
flawless.
us. All right, good. Thanks. Don't thank me yet. You don't know what you're letting yourself in for.
Sir Kuno, can you tell me something about yourself?
Drop the sir. That title brought me nothing but grief. But what do you want to know?
Sir Radzig told me the Rickvold family lost its wealth. How did that happen?
There's all sorts of ways to become impoverished. Nothing easier. Especially when your father's a fool. And your mother's mad as a bat.
Oh.
But it's a long and twisted story. We took our name from Rickval Castle, but that actually belonged to the convent of the Poor Clares in Tynitz, and my father only leased it. You see, he knew the abbess there since they were young. Knew her very well. There was even talk that she only joined the order because her family wouldn't let her marry him. Anyway, whether he was fucking her right there in the convent, or he just took a lot of interest in scripture, he spent an awful lot of time in Tynitz.
Oh, he might have been after a bit of both.
Sinning and confessing all in one place. Well, I can see the convenience of it. Anyway, my mother never had strong nerves. Truth be told, her sanity was always shaky. Pa's escapades drove her cuckoo entirely. Then, one frosty December morning, I was woken by screaming and smoke. I looked out the window. I saw my mother there, in the courtyard, wreathed in flames. Behind her, the stables, the farm buildings and the tower were burning too. And she just stood there, shrieking with laughter.
Christ, that sounds like a scene straight out of hell.
Hellish it was, I can tell you. Me and my sister Adela and a few servants managed to get out before the whole place went up. I couldn't get to my father. Or my little brother. Poor lad was only 7. My sister and I were left destitute after the fire. But then my cousin, Adam of Drevich, took us into his castle. A few weeks later, he offered to buy what was left of our estates and sell me a small fortress near a Kovnik. It was a great relief. We suddenly had some hope of a future again. So I told my sister about it. And it was the biggest mistake of my life. A week later, the two of them announced to me they were getting married. And all that was left of our estates, lands, woods, villages, Adela was to get it all as a dowry.
But surely that was for you to decide. You were the head of the family, right?
Aye. Only I barely had 17 years under my belt, and I'd just lost everything. Of course, I argued with them, and that was the only excuse they needed to kick me out of Drevich too.
That's pretty harsh.
You're telling me. But I'm not complaining. As my pa always used to say, if you can turn your hand to something, you'll never be lost. I doubt it ever crossed his mind how often I'd remember those words.
What about your debt to Sir Radzig? How did that come about?
A twist of fate, lad. I was fighting in the hostilities between the House of Schallenberg and the town of Colleen. Some trade dispute it was, and I fought under the Schallenberg colours. In the end, the two sides negotiated a truce, and I rode to Colleen with a delegation that was to parley there. We stopped off at an inn on the way, and it was there that I met Radzig Kobyla. I could tell at first sight he was a man after my own heart. A likeable rogue, with a sharp mind and a merry soul. We spent the whole night drinking together and talking, and in the morning we set off together, with sore heads, but in good temper, since he was travelling the Colleen same as I was. Only, once we reached the city gates, they arrested me on the spot. Seems the burghers had it in for me, since I'd been making their lives hell for a good 6 months. On the other hand, I was a member of the peace delegation, so by rights, they shouldn't have even looked at me sideways. And then it hit me why Radzig was there. Colleen is a royal city, so he was there to represent the king's interests.
I see. So he was on the other side.
That's right. Anyway, they threw me in a dungeon, And a few days later, word reached me that the Schallenbergs had reached an agreement with the Burgers. Only part of the deal was they would give them my head. And I'd surely have ended my days swinging from the town battlements if it hadn't been for Radzig. He liked me, and he could see it was a dirty trick, so he somehow squared things with the city council.
Lucky for you.
Indeed. I owe my life to Radzig, and I'll never forget it. He's asked me twice before for help. This is the third time, and how could I refuse him?
I'd like to ask about your men.
Ask away.
What about the fellow they call Dangler?
I've never ridden with a better man, I can tell you. He doesn't say a lot, but for that, he listens all the better. Nothing escapes him.
So he scouts for you?
Not just that. It's happened more than once. I was closing a deal with someone, and Dangler told me after that he didn't like the smell of the fella nearly every time he was right. And the fellow tried to stab me in the back afterwards.
Those Behrman brothers are quite a pair.
Indeed they are. There's no more mercy in them than in, well, a bear. If I told them to skewer you on the spot, they'd do it, without batting an eyelid.
Jesus.
Oh, aye. They'd argue first about which one of them got to do the job. But they're as obedient as a huntsman's dogs. Real soldiers, the pair of them. Reliable, as long as they don't get too drunk. Then there's no keeping them under control. But nobody's perfect.
What can you tell me about Stefan?
Fletching? For one thing, he's a very resourceful fellow.
How did he come to join your band?
Well, let's just say he was in the right place at the right time. You'll find he has quite a knack for that.
What exactly happened?
Sorry, I'd love to tell you the whole story, but I'd be betraying his trust.
Oh, now you've got me curious. Maybe I should ask him myself.
Sure, why not? Our Fletch does love to converse.
What about that dumb one? How did he end up with you?
The stone? Oh, he just kind of tagged along.
Just like that?
Aye, just like that. We were riding from Olomouc to a castle past Kladsko, when we ran into him and some other wayfarers camping along the way. You know how it goes. We made acquaintance with them, had a drink or two. Then we travelled on together. After all, there's safety in numbers.
I'm not sure I'd be thinking that if I ran into you lot on the road.
We might have done some things I ain't proud of, but wayfarers are sacred even for me. Anyway, our fellow travellers dropped off along the way. One in Mohelnitz, one in Schoenberg, and the rest in Kladsko. Except for the stone. He stuck with us the whole way. The fellas kept asking him what he was after, but of course he never said a word. When we were approaching Barsdorf, I ordered the men to get rid of him. I had some business at the castle, and I didn't want any strangers sticking their noses in. Stefan tried to tell him nicely, but he just sat there, staring like he was turned to stone. That's when we gave him the name. Then the Behrman brothers tried to get him off his horse. He booted Jan in the face and knocked him out cold. Then he jumped down and felled Petter with one punch. A man who can do that is a man you want on your side. So we kept him.
Weren't you worried about having a stranger in your band? Especially one who didn't talk.
No, I figured if he can't talk, he can't tell. Besides, I've had worse.
What about Jakey?
Jakey, that boy will be the death of me. You've got to be tough on him, or he's good for nothing. But I'm fond of him, in a way.
Like a son?
I wouldn't go that far. But I've no family of my own. And unlike those other cutthroats, he seems to me like a good lad.
Well, you're pretty hard on him, though. And the others keep him on his toes, too.
The boy needs a firm hand. I was like him once, and I got the same too. If we let him be, we'd end up with a third bear man. And who'd want that?
True. 2 is more than enough. Should we ride out?
No point in going out now. It'll soon be dark. Come back at first light and we'll get going.
All right.
You can sleep here in the camp if you want. There's room enough. And you ought to get better acquainted with the fellas.
So that's gonna be it for today. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Take care, and I will see you in the next one.